Hey everybody, it is Mattie here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're doing well on this Sunday and that you're having a terrific weekend. So we're looking at a couple of stories today, 2 or 3 of which are surrounding XRP. We're talking about Ripple, of course. One here by way of Luke. Negative stance towards XRP is fading. We'll talk about why that is and get Luke's take. We're talking about why XRP may surprise us in 2019. This is courtesy of Crypto Daily. We're taking a look what's happening with Etheruem founder Vitalik. There's all kinds of rumors circulating in the crypto sphere. We're going to tease at something that we're going to take a closer look at tomorrow. So developments between Charlie Lee of Litecoin and Roger Ver of Bitcoin Cash. We'll have a closer look at that development, which is in the news. But let's begin, as always, on altcoinbuzz.io with this article here by Licia. So what is XRP? Former SEC employee has the answer. XRP, as Licia writes, has long since been battling its classification as a security. Now, Michael Didiuk, a former employee of the Security and Exchange Commission, has spoken out. According to him, XRP is not a security, it is a currency. And Didiuk arrived at this conclusion by appealing to the Howey test, which is used for identifying whether an asset is a security or not. So, quote, I don't think XRP is a security. I think XRP is a currency. The reason why is Howey test. It's a 4-factor test. Investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits based on the efforts of others, he said. Now, I've been a little bit critical or at least skeptical of the Howey test in the past. I think it's something out of the 1940s or at least in that era, more or less. I don't know if that's the best way to classify these modern day tokens and coins. I think it's an anachronism and I think it's well past its shelf life. So at least in my opinion, it's time to revamp the definitions or at least come up with a new classification system. Then you have Stephen Dieppe, who commented on Didiuk's statement, quote, pay attention to the reaction of the regulators. They laughed, claiming XRP being a security sounds stupid from the get-go. Ripple, we're talking about Ripple because it has been in the news lately. Many eminent figures have attended Ripple's annual Swell Conference in San Francisco. We covered recently, just a couple of days ago, former US President Bill Clinton's comment about blockchain in general, but he certainly was at the Ripple conference. So if you want to check out more information about the SEC and perhaps their stance on crypto and XRP in this case, do be sure to check out Licia's article in full and let us know what you think in the comments below. If you want to learn more about Swell 2018 and Ripple, which has been in the news, you can check out this video, which we're going to link to in the description below. So moving on in other news by way today of Luke, negative stance towards XRP is fading. Ripple bashers are starting to change their perspective. So as Luke writes, Ripple has become one of the most criticized projects over the last year. Ripple saw the biggest gains of all crypto projects in 2017, but at the same time, Ripple also started to get a lot of heat from a big part of the crypto community. Posted under almost every Ripple and or XRP centric video or news item were comments like, quote, the Ripple network isn't decentralized and Ripple is a banker's coin. I know some of you out there in the altcoin buzz army still have that opinion and the debate rages on, of course. With the launch of XRapid, however, the negativity around Ripple and XRP seems to be fading away. But all of a sudden, as Luke points out, there are more and more critics that suddenly are acknowledging that, hey, there's something to this, and maybe XRP may have a very bright future in the months and perhaps years ahead. So Luke goes over some of those critics here that are now saying some favorable things, including Ran Neuner, whose tweets seem to suggest lately that he's switching gears at least somewhat. So here I am meeting the head of product at Ripple. I said I have an open mind, and if I was wrong, I will eat my words. That's an attitude that I admire in people, whether it's cryptocurrency, politics, science, what have you. You got to keep an open mind. You got to let the evidence form your opinions, not your preconceived biases. So kudos to Ran Neuner. Number 2, Philip Nunn. He's the CEO of 2 multinational companies, the Blackmore Group and Wealth Chain Group. So here's something that we can attribute to him. Quote, I've never been a supporter of Ripple XRP, but boy, they are making some serious moves. And the fact I have issues with their offering is being put aside for now as they become so important in flying the crypto blockchain flag. They will become the Microsoft of crypto. That's a big statement, the Microsoft of crypto. So you can read more here about other statements that Nunn has made. As Luke points out, he's certainly not the biggest proponent of XRP, but he seems to be changing his tune ever so slightly. So that alone is getting some attention. And finally, guys, you can read here about what Luke has to say about Ripple and XRP, their most recent developments, not the least of which is XRapid, which, as we suspect over here at altcoinbuzz.io, is what really has fanned and fueled the recent price action, which has been very positive in the last month or so for Ripple. So if you are a fan of XRP, if you're into what they're doing, or maybe you're not, whatever your perspective is, let us know in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with Luke. Be sure to leave us with your perspective. Here's an article that relates. We're not going to go through everything right here, but by way of Crypto Daily, Ripple XRP might surprise the world in 2019. So what they're suggesting here is that the 1 hour chart for XRP, based on the RSI, has bottomed out and favors a rally. Wave trend for XRP over USD shows a short-term trend reversal is due. Not financial advice by any means, guys, so take that with a grain of salt. If you want to read more about the technical analysis provided here, of course, we're going to link to this in the description below. Switching gears now from XRP over to Ethereum, you may have heard about this rumor that's been in the news for the last couple of days. So Ethereum's founder, Vitalik might be leaving the Ethereum platform soon, but not entirely. What is this all about? So recently, there's the Litecoin founder, Mr. Charlie Lee. He was forced to comment on some accusations on Twitter about him detaching himself from the Litecoin development project, which he founded in 2011. Now, all of a sudden, it's the turn of Ethereum co-founder Vitalik to comment on some of the questions he was asked through social media about the possibility of him abandoning the Ethereum network. I think abandoning is a strong word. Perhaps it's more of a responsibility shift, but that's always how things are spun, right? Just for the sake of sensationalism. You guys know how it is. So there were some accusations that Vitalik had pumped a large amount of Ethereum, to which he responded, "I'm confused. How does holding coins make me a pumper? I've actually been getting messages from some in the community criticizing me for not being pumpy enough." He also responded to the debate if he had ever thought of detaching himself from the Ethereum network by saying that, quote, "already in progress. Watch the repos. Even much of the research is being done by Danny Ryan, Justin Drake, Hsiao Wei Wang, and others." The Ethereum co-founder also assured the Ethereum community that his detachment will not affect the network. He was quoted as saying that, "I think Ethereum can absolutely survive me spontaneously combusting tomorrow at this point." Well said. If you want to check out more about what Vitalik had to say and the way he addressed some of these issues, we're going to link to this article as well as his Twitter account if you want to peruse through some of the comments that he's made more publicly. And speaking of Charlie Lee, as we just did, and his project, of course, he is the architect and father of Litecoin. He's seated here next to perhaps his crypto rival, his enemy of sorts in this space, Mr. Roger Ver, who's at the helm of the Bitcoin Cash ship. So this is not a meeting that you would normally see. We're going to tease this today and bring you more details about it tomorrow, but Charlie Lee and Roger Ver make a friendly bet about the Lightning Network. So take a look at this article. We will link to this in the description below, but we're going to come back to this tomorrow in more detail. It's a really interesting development and we want to cover our own piece. So this is an interesting one. Let's see if bitter rivals can become friends once again. We're going to update you as things progress, but of course you got to be following Altcoin Buzz and Altcoin Buzz News. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram. If you choose to invest on this Sunday, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army, I wish you happy investing. If you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and click that bell to be notified because we put out new content every day. Check out the last video here on the right if you have not already, as well as our latest publications on the website. With that, have a wonderful tail end of your weekend. We're going to see you guys again soon in another video. Take care.